In the market, I see, I speak to all sorts of new digital therapeutic solutions for respiratory diseases. Why do you think that is happening now? Why are there so many? What's changing in the market? Is it around awareness? Is it around the technology that's become? Is it to do with COVID? What's happening now?
Sure. Well, let me take that a couple different ways, and I'll talk about COVID last. But I think the first thing is that, I think you actually see that we have a very changing climate, and you see an increased number of extreme weather events, whether it's hurricanes, whether it's extreme heat, whether it's wildfire smoke. You have a map behind you of kind of California with, the wildfire smoke. And so I think that's kind of heightened the awareness of what are these impacts on a vulnerable population like people with respiratory conditions. And then you hit the COVID thing, and that is, one additional layer that's really accelerated the interest, right? Because people who have asthma and COPD already have vulnerable airways, right? And so they're potentially vulnerable to getting COVID more. We're also seeing some reports early on that are saying, areas with higher levels of air pollution have higher incidence of COVID. So you're seeing some type of correlation. I don't think that's totally known right now, so we have some gaps right there. But clearly, the other element is that people who have allergic asthma, they're having allergy symptoms, and they're confused. Is these allergies or are these early onset symptoms of COVID, right? So there's some confusion there. And so that creates a need or a desire to have tools that can tell me, okay, am I experiencing allergies, right? The tool itself will actually say, okay, well, there's an exposure nearby, so maybe it really is just allergies. It's not necessarily COVID, right? So I think that's what's kind of accelerating this. And then from a healthcare perspective, I think what's clear here is that there's been a great movement in self-care management, right? Without an ability to visit your doctor in person, people are looking for digital health solutions that can help them manage their own care between either those televisits or, in lieu of going to visit the doctor, what can I do just to keep my condition in check?